Hi travelers, Tara here, and I'm coming to you today with a quick, straight, no chaser reading. Now this is done with the La Vida Sabilas. There are no extra clarifiers. We're just going to read it up straight. There will be no oracle cards after this. For those of you, I offer a straight, no chaser reading on the site. Yes, if you've been there and you've seen the price of it, it is a very pricey reading, but you're getting over an hour. I think it's either an hour and 15 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes of time. There are no set number of questions, and that is the only reading that I conduct by phone. And it is a really, really good reading. Clients who purchased it really like it a lot because you get that instant feedback from me, and you get to ask questions, and we just, like a detective, we lay the cards and we go through the story and we dig a little bit deeper. I do have several types of readings on the site. Most of them are video readings. You get to download and save those. My turnaround time is between 24 to 72 hours. I don't like to make people wait. I also have astrology readings and Akashic Records readings and etheric cord cutting readings. So if you haven't been over to the site yet, go over and take a look around. There's lots of, if you join as a member, there's lots of information on the site. That being said, we have a lot of energy or planetary energy swirling around the 12th house of Pisces and the 1st house of Aries. And Aries is all about me. It rules your reputation, your image, your online profile, your face, your appearance, your projection out to other people, how people see you. That, for those of you who have your charts, if you look at your chart and you don't have anything in the house of Aries, this doesn't mean you don't have anything going on, because you could be dealing with people who have planets that fall in your empty house, okay? So what you would do is, if you know that, if you have a copy of the other person's birth chart, what you would do is you would superimpose their chart over yours, and that'll show you what falls in your empty, if you have the empty sign, empty house, Aries house, or an empty 1st house, that's going to show you what the opposition and where those planets are going to fall. And so if you don't have, like me, I don't have anything in the 1st house of Aries, but I do have a lot of stuff in the 7th house of Libra, and that's the opposition. So the oppositions are 1st and 7th house, 2nd and 8th house, the 3rd and 9th house, the 4th and 10th house, the 5th and 11th, and then the 6th house and the 12th house. Those are your oppositions. And so whenever you have something going on that's an opposition, that means either there's somebody opposed against you, or you're opposed against him, he, she, or them, okay, or us against them. But it could also be sometimes that you are in opposition with yourself. You may feel conflicted about something, all right? Astrology is not that hard. It's just a lot of stuff you got to remember. And so I think tomorrow, I'm not exactly sure, on the 22nd, it may have already occurred. Let me see here. I think Chiron has already moved into Aries. For those of you who have a natal Chiron in Aries, this is going to be huge for you. Yes, Chiron has moved into Aries. I think that's today or yesterday. I don't even know what day it is. The 21st. Moved in yesterday. So it has just gone in at 0 Aries. And 0 degrees of any sign is a critical degree, because this is when the planet first moves in. It's just getting started in terms of it's leaving behind the old energy and trying to start up the new energy, whatever that house is going to be about. So we're going to go ahead and lay the cards. And I'm just going to read you the straight story. Maybe you'll recognize it, maybe you won't. If you think you'd like to get a reading, any kind of reading, you can find my email address at the bottom of the screen here. My website address at the bottom of the screen here. You can find it in the About box section of my channel. And you can also find it in the description box underneath the video, okay? That's not the same as the one that's here on the screen. I want to welcome new subscribers, my Tumblr followers out there. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Old subscribers, thank you for sticking with me. All right, here we go. This is going to be a 15 card spread. Fedeltà, stanza, messaggere, malinconia, belvedere. Okay. Wow, that's interesting. Sacerdote, falsità, letterato, amore, viaggio, limoneo. Wow. Disgrazia. Wow. Giovani fanciulla, vedovo, and the il nemico. Underneath the deck, I have the Superbia card. Now, I'll show you these again so that you can see them, okay? There is the fedeltà, the stanza, the messaggere, malinconia, belvedere, sacerdote, falsità, letterato, amore, viaggio, limoneo, disgrazia, giovani fanciulla, vedovo, il nemico. All right, those are our cards, and they are telling a story. Right in the center of the spread, we have the letterato. This is the man of science. This card normally represents a discovery. So we may be dealing with someone who is, in effect, learned, but also someone who's a deep thinker, who thinks about things, or at least is in the process of going over something, some kind of discovery that the person is making. This is in the center of our spread. This is our focus, okay? The top row is telling me that this is about a friendship or loyalty. That's what fedeltà means. It's fidelity. So this is about loyalty and fidelity. And there has been a break in communication with someone who you have either remained loyal to, or there's been a kind of a very good friendship between two. So there's been a break in communication here. And then we have behind that the messaggere. So this tells me that there's a message coming for some of you. For some of you, you've already received this message. There's a message coming in from afar. It doesn't tell me where from afar or when from afar. It just tells me that it's a message that either you have received, one that perhaps there has been a break in communication, and then finally the message has come in from afar. So this tells me in a sense that there might be some distance between you and the individual. This news is not the news that you were expecting to hear. It was not something you wanted to hear. It's not something that you, I think, expected to hear. But then on the back side of the melancholia is the card of depression or sadness. But on the back side of that is the belvedere. So what this tells me is that in some way, shape, or form, whatever the news is, it may not have been what you wanted to hear, and maybe the timing of it wasn't what you expected it to hear. But nevertheless, you're not too necessarily perturbed by it, because you are looking forward. That is the belvedere. You are, you know, continuing forward with your plans. Okay. Now, I don't know if this is about a business. I tend to think that it is some kind of commitment or partnership issue. And the reason why I say that is I have fedeltà, sacerdote, limoneo. Those three cards here on the very left are telling me that this is an individual who, somebody that you placed your trust in, somebody that you, in a sense, you could confide in, a trustworthy individual, and there was a bond there. There was some kind of bond or commitment there. This also speaks to the highly spiritual nature of the relationship. But coming in on the second row, we have the falsità. This is the deception or the lies or the hidden or false intentions. So in a way, it kind of tells me that this individual may have lied to you, but may have lied to you through omission in some way. There's something that they're not telling you, okay? And they have thought about that before. I think they either told you that this is the basis of why you're getting that information, or you've gotten that information, that news, that email, that text message, maybe that letter in the mail. But it's also speaking to me about someone who is really considering the idea of what they have done. Okay. On the backside of him is Amore Viaggio. Amore is just that. It is the love card, but it also represents the asteroid Cupido. And we know that Cupido is about sudden, quick, intense attraction, passion. It could be that love at first sight kind of a thing. But what happens when he shows up is that the person ends up wounding themselves. They don't start out to wound you, or you don't start out to wound them. Nevertheless, there is a wounding that's there, but it's not a deep wounding because the arrows don't go in very deeply. In other words, maybe the person lied to you by omission, and they sent you some information that you were disappointed by it. But you're not going to allow that to stop you. But now they're thinking about that, and instead of them really hurting you, what it is they ended up hurting themselves. Okay, the wounds are not that deep. We see the viaggio. This is about a trip or a vacation. It does speak about some kind of movement. So, and one way I can read that as the idea that there, again, is some kind of distance between the two of you. Now, the last row, the limoneo, this, again, the proposal, the offer, the commitment, the bond, that really, it just kind of goes up in flames. Here is the disgrazia. It's the Tower card. It completely goes up into flames. That's the house on fire. Why does it go up in flames? It goes up in flames because there's some lie by omission here. Okay? So there's something, I think, that's being hidden. Now, I have the Giovani Fanciulla. I'm not exactly sure if the Giovani Fanciulla is speaking to the idea of you being the new person that has come in, or that there is another person in the picture. Okay, I would tend to think maybe there's another person in the picture here. But the Vedovo is saying that, and maybe this person is younger than yourself. And, by younger, it can mean a year or two. It's not like somebody, you're 50 and the person's 19, although that could be the case. But we see the Vedovo. The Vedovo is about the man chained to his past. And I feel that what this is telling me is that the individual has, for one thing, they haven't been able to, quote unquote, kind of rid themselves of this past relationship here. Fedeltà, falsità, Giovani Fanciulla. This tells me that there is a connection here, and it's been hidden from you. So there was a lie by omission that was not told. Here, Belvedere amore Giovani Fanciulla. Well, now that the person has told this lie, has sent you this information, and you have moved on. So what the person's going to do now is they're going to try to themselves move on. But yet, Giovani Fanciulla, they cannot, in a sense, get rid of this other person that's there. But at the same time, you would still be considered to be the new person or the new female in the equation, and the person is unable to forget you. Now, on the backside of that, we have the Il Nemico. Now, the Il Nemico speaks about it's about concealed hate, envy, a rivalry. But I sometimes see this card show up when it speaks about someone who is their own worst enemy. Okay? And I kind of feel that for some of you, the card is saying be on the lookout. That person's going to come back. They're either going to arrive, okay, literally show up. They're going to arrive in some way. But here is the il nemico. Let's not forget that the individual has lied to you by omission, okay? That there is somebody else in the picture, somebody that they did not tell you about, okay? That previously their relationship perhaps did not go well either, but yet they are still in some way connected to each other. This could be an ex, okay? That for whatever reason, the person can't seem to shake them, okay? But yet they're there. But in a sense, this is, the person didn't tell you that. I think they were trying to hedge their bets, so to speak. It also speaks to the idea that the person is fearful of going into another relationship. Belvedere sacerdote, il nemico. They're running away from this new kind of commitment and this kind of truthfulness and openness and honesty. Why? Perhaps because it didn't go well before with the previous person. But overriding all of that is this Superbia card, okay? And the Superbia card normally is translated as vanity, haughtiness, pride, but it also represents the energy of the asteroid Juno, that of commitment, okay? Right relationships. That's what Juno was about. So this is, in a sense, about somebody who may have told you half the story and complained about what their past relationships were like, because Juno in astrology was married to Jupiter. Jupiter was a philanderer. And she got revenge back on all of his lovers. She made life very difficult for his lovers. She made life very difficult for the children that he had out of wedlock. But yet she never divorced him. She never left. Okay? It might be that sense of, you know, I'm not a quitter, or I'm not going to let you get the best of me, or I can handle anything that you throw at me. But because of the position, the status, and the security that Jupiter provided, or that relationship provided, that person remained in the relationship. Now, I don't see that there are any children here, although there very well could be. Definitely here down the center, and this is what is most peculiar about this particular reading, is that the person knows that when they sent you that message, they were lying, that they didn't want to be in relationship with you. But they ran away from it anyway. What does this? This is like a twin flame kind of a thing, where you see one person chasing another, or one person, but I would dare say that if you find yourself in this situation, do not chase. All they're going to do is run. That may be what they want you to do, okay, because it makes them feel good, whatever. I also feel that the individual is kind of perplexed as to why you aren't chasing them. I think they are of a mind that you yourself are viewing them as the enemy, which may or may not be the case. Right? What's so interesting to me, again, the perplexing are the three cards of the stanza letterato vedovo. Definitely the person is missing the conversation. They're missing the interaction with you. Okay? And you are sad that the person, you know, whatever they were thinking, that shit just didn't wash for you. Right? Nevertheless, sometimes the giovane fanciulla simply is the idea of a woman who stands on her own. Okay? A different type of female. Not just a younger female or a newer female or a different female, but simply someone who stands on their own and will say to you, okay, look, you're being very deliberate in what you're doing or not doing. You know what I mean? And so if that's the way it's going to be, I can walk away. Do know that you will be hearing from the individual again. For some of you, this person may just literally show up. Maybe they come on a business trip or vacation of some sort. Maybe they are invited by a friend. Maybe they come, maybe somebody's getting married. Friends getting married. I also think for some of you, you may be harboring a bit of quote-unquote resentment here. That the next guy who comes through, this asshole better have his shit straight. That's what my guides are telling me. Okay? So, whether this is same-sex or heterosexual, this applies. That's what I have for you. I do feel that within the next week to 2 weeks, maybe all the way out to 3 weeks, for some of you who kind of recognize this situation, I would kind of keep my eyes peeled. Now, of course, this is a general reading. This message is not going to apply for everybody. It's not going to play out for everybody the same way. Not all of you will be getting that message back. Not all of the person will not be coming to see all of you. So you might need to. Now, I also feel that for some of you, you may, in a move to just move ahead, you may end up running into someone new. Okay? And that's something to think about. So, if you want more information about this particular situation, remember we're looking at oppositions. Please book a personal reading. That's how I take your birth date and sun sign and the name of the other individual and their sun sign. I pinpoint you in the collective through the Akashic records, and then I give you the information that comes back. That's what I have for you. I hope those messages helped you. And until next time, namaste. Thank you for allowing me to read for you.